All right, there's no snow yet, but we do have some snow on the way for today. It's all rain that we see outside on our Queens Gate camera right behind me. It's a cold rain, a breezy rain. We're going to check all the boxes with today's forecast, of course, as we get through 19 at noon, but we're also going to talk about the chance for some snow moving into your evening, tomorrow morning, and bigger snow chances arrive for early Friday as well. So just this light band of showers moving through parts of southern Warren County, kind of just along 71 right now. Light rain here in Cincinnati. That's what you see kind of just behind my shoulder here. And it's making its way out of the tri-state. I'd say this is the last of the rain that we're going to see. With that cold front passing through the tri-state right now, you can kind of see up here the transition that this rain is having into snow. And so with that, we're also talking about our next weather maker too, which is rolling off the Rockies. It's an Alberta Clipper technically, so going around the Rockies, but regardless, it will arrive late Thursday into Friday, and this is a lot more of a potent system. It's going to be stirring up a little bit more chaos out there on the roads compared to what we're tracking for tonight into tomorrow, which a reminder that while we're not under any winter weather advisories, that could change. We'll let you know if that does, but special weather statements in effect for the winds that we're tracking today, which are gusting anywhere from 35 to 45 miles an hour. And then eventually, as that cold air kicks back into the tri-state, we're watching the transition from rain to snow, opening up the door for a few slick spots. So we do have several first alert weather days, today included. We're wet and windy now, and we're getting pretty wintry heading into your evening forecast. And while today's Wednesday, so that's number one. It's Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Some squalls coming through the tri-state. We know here in Cincinnati that squalls can be pretty dangerous. It's one of those setups in which some areas will get potentially a couple inches of snow really quickly, whereas others might not get a single flake of snow. I'll show you what it looks like on your weather timeline here in a second. Thursday afternoon into Friday morning, we have two potent systems arriving later on this week into your weekend. The first one is arriving during that time frame, 2 to 4 inches of snow for most. So this is going to be a bigger snow event here in the tri-state. We can expect at least 2 inches across the tri-state, higher total southwest of Cincinnati. And then second clipper arrives later on this weekend. This will be overnight into Sunday, and that's going to usher in the coldest air of the season so far. Temperatures that we haven't experienced, wind chills that we haven't seen since this last January. So today we're seeing a cold front pass through the tri-state. It's causing these winds to gust up to anywhere like 35, 40 miles an hour is what we've seen so far. And maybe we'll see a couple of those isolated stronger wind gusts as we work into your afternoon. But temperatures, they're not too bad outside right now, low 40s. The Lunken Airport's at 43 degrees, upper 30s out towards Batesville, Harrison, Connorsville, down towards Falmouth, as well as east towards Georgetown, West Union, and Hillsborough. But here's the air that's going to be coming on in. Again, two clippers, which means what you need to know about that. They're coming in from Canada, from the north. You see the 6, you see the 7 up there. The 6 for Bismarck, the 7 for Thunder Bay. Those temperatures are coming right here into the tri-state. It's going to take two clippers to do it, but it will happen, and it will unfortunately affect your weekend. Whereas what we're tracking for today is pretty light. It's a nuisance rain to snow mix. 30% chance will continue into your afternoon and evening. It's been pesky. It will continue to be pesky. And waking up tomorrow morning, a couple of those snow squalls. We can't rule that out quite yet, too. Just want to make sure that we've got audio and everything. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that, you guys. My audio levels were going a little funky. Middle 20s for tomorrow's forecast lows. You pair this with a little bit of snow, though, and things will be a little the dangerous side for that Thursday morning commute. I'll be out in the storm tracker tomorrow morning tracking this for you guys, so make sure you tune into Fox 19 tomorrow. We're waking up in the teens in spots, and other spots are going to be seeing some sun towards the afternoon. So again, tomorrow's not necessarily an all-around snowy day. It's just that the morning especially is going to be dangerous in spots. You'll see it here in your weather timeline, how these bands of snow are going to behave. Let's start with today, though. Light rain. This is what we're seeing right now here at noon. We'll transition into some light snow into your afternoon, into your evening. Now watch these bands of snow. They're going to be kind of north to south oriented, and what happens with this is this allows the same area to receive heavy snow for a good amount of time because these snowflakes will be moving from north to south. See that moving through Cincinnati overnight? We're going to watch out for some additional snow squalls east of Cincinnati all the way through the mid-morning. So yeah, maybe a little bit of treatment out there on the roads needed for Thursday morning, but then Thursday itself looks pretty light, pretty cold, a little bit of sun, and then bigger snow arrives late Thursday evening into your Friday, in which, especially those south and west of Cincinnati, you guys are seeing snow showers upon snow showers for several hours. It's going to lead to about 2 to 4 inches. For you guys, upwards of 4 down towards Vevey, Williamstown, parts of Owen County as well. Can expect the heaviest snow with overnight into Friday. And we can't rule out school delays, school cancellations with this one just because we're tracking widespread snow here in Cincinnati. You'll see the snowfall totals here in just a second. But we here in Cincy can expect a good amount of snow. Now here's what we're tracking for Thursday morning. Notice that some of us have zeros, not tracking any rain, or excuse me, snow for everyone. They're not going to see it, but 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 of an inch with these squalls. And then here comes the heavier snow. So again, anywhere from about 2 to 4 inches, lower totals north, higher totals south. Let's talk about the weekend forecast because while Friday morning and most of your Friday is going to be really cold, really snowy, we have more snow on tap for your weekend. During the daylight hours on Saturday, I'm not tracking too much in the way of snow, just very cold temps. I mean, look, we're seeing those afternoon highs only in the 20s north of Cincinnati and maybe the mid to low 30s south. And then as snow showers roll through overnight into your Sunday, that pulls in even colder air. We're talking daytime highs Sunday, some of us in the teens. I know, not great for a football game, that's for sure, for the Bengals game at home on Sunday afternoon. And while it is going to be dry during the game, the snow that falls will be allowed to stick. So that's the bitter cold arriving this weekend. And you factor in a wind, it's going to be even colder. Okay, let's see if we have any questions rolling on in, and we do. Hi, Erin, how are you doing on a Friday? I'm listening to rock music now. Hi, Seth, I wish it were Friday. I hope you're doing well on this Wednesday, and I hope you enjoy your music. John's tuning in. How much snow are we supposed to get in the next couple of days? Great question. Hopefully I just answered that question for you with my last graphic. We can expect 2 to 4 inches by the end of this work week, and we'll add in some more snow over the weekend as well. It's a little too early to really factor in how much snow that weekend's going to bring, but it's looking pretty strong as well. Maybe another 2 to 4 inches can't be ruled out. Paul is asking, did I hear snow day? Heard it here first, folks. Can't rule it out. And then Eric said, ouch. I know, the snow and the cold. I know it's going to be a little painful for some people. And Teresa's tuning in Maysville, Kentucky as well. So Maysville, Kentucky, you guys are going to be kind of on the cusp around like that 3-inch mark as far as snowfall totals go by Friday morning. But I mean, look at these temperatures into your weekend. You go from middle 30s Saturday to the low 20s, maybe the teens on Sunday. And that's because we have even more snow on tap. Both of these systems look like they're going to be eyeing southwestern areas of the tri-state for the heaviest snowfall to drop. I know Maysville's on the southeastern side, but you guys can safely assume that a couple inches, maybe 3 or 4, when everything is said and done. JD is tuning in. How are you doing today? What's the weather for Canton tomorrow morning? You are good. Thank you. I'm doing well today. Thank you, JD. And the weather for tomorrow morning for Canton, I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit breezy up that direction, certainly pretty cold, and also some snow with those northwesterly winds. Thanks for tuning on in. Sam just tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully no school delays for Highland Heights in northern Kentucky. I know. I thank you, first off, Sandra. I appreciate it, and I hope you're doing well too. The thing that's really difficult with snow squalls is that they're really hard to forecast where they're going to happen. We have better confidence in seeing and saying that anyone that does get these snow squalls can expect a good amount of snow for a couple hours, whereas maybe 10 miles down the road, you get no snow. That's why it's really difficult to sit here and say, Highland Heights, you're going to get one of these snow squalls tomorrow morning, because it is just one of those forecasts where we might not know until it's happening right above us, to be quite frank. And then school delays for Highland Heights as far as Friday goes, I would expect if everything holds true in the forecast, which it has over the last few days, that you guys can expect maybe some delays and cancellations, especially in northern Kentucky. Joy's tuning in. So with timing, are we thinking school closures on Friday, Verona, Kentucky here? Yeah, so Kentucky is really where we're eyeing the highest impact in regards to the snow in general. Northern Kentucky can expect at least 2 to 3 inches, maybe up to 4, maybe a little bit more than that. Of course, I think my personal threshold as far as like what constitutes delays and cancellations, which I have no jurisdiction over, I'd say like 2 inches is typically that lock number where it's like, it's kind of hard to treat the roads ahead of a snow of 2 inches, right? Because the salt is only going to work for so much snow, things of that nature. So something to be watching. I think school closures are definitely going to be likely for Friday morning, and that's another day I'll be in the storm tracker. So tune in both mornings and I'll get you that update. Sandra says, shall be interesting. It should be. Squalls are really hard to forecast and they're hard to prepare for, but if you just go into tomorrow knowing that there's a possibility that you see snow, great, but there's also probably a better chance that you will not see any snow. Again, where we see the snow tomorrow, it's just going to be quite impactful. Friday, everyone will see it though. Sarah's tuning in. School delays or closures possible for Mount Healthy. I think for Friday morning for sure. I think everywhere in the tri-state could be looking at some school delays. Closures, I think, is more of a northern Kentucky thing as well. So 2 to 4 inches of snow can be expected there on Friday morning, which, depending on how the roads are treated, you could be looking at some closures for sure. Karthik's tuning in. What about flight delays, cancellations at CVG on Friday? If we get the forecasted 3 to 4 inches of snow, that's our travel day. That is, that's a tough one because snow is one of those things where it could really affect those flights, right? I don't know how CVG makes those calls. I do know they make them right there on the spot, which is kind of frustrating for people trying to plan ahead. I think going into Friday, knowing that there's a good amount of snow coming on in, and while there's only so much people that can do to maybe de-ice the planes, clean the runways, things about that nature, you also have to go in knowing that the snow, we're going to be seeing several hours of it, so depending on where you go. And then you'll have to have it planned in place. I mean, I think worst comes to worst, these flights will be delayed because the afternoon we're seeing better conditions. So Sandra's great question, kind of a good segue. How about around 1 on Friday? That's when the snow is really coming to a stop, the late morning to the early afternoon. There's plenty of dry time in the afternoon, maybe some peaks of sun as well. It's just going to be snowy in the morning and a good amount of snow as well. Okay, rolling through those questions, great questions, you guys, coming on in. Let's talk about how the wind is going to affect the cold this weekend, which is really going to affect these already cold temperatures. Reminder that wind chill feels like temperatures, they're the same thing. And we can expect waking up on Saturday, some of us will be seeing some wind chills in the teens. Keep that in mind for the 5Ks, but look at Sunday. I'm sorry, I have to laugh. Look at the difference between Saturday and Sunday. You thought Saturday was cold. Sunday's going to be even colder. We're talking 10 degrees below zero. Again, these are the wind chills. You also have to factor in that the wind chills consider what snow is on the ground too, because obviously the wind is going to take the cold air by the snow and shove it in your face. So of course Sunday's going to be colder. In the afternoon, we don't see too much relief as well. So Bengals game, bundle up. Bundle up. Absolutely. And then working into the rest of your forecast here, kind of putting a bow on everything. We've got snow chances tonight. We've got snow chances tomorrow. We have snow chances on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'd say the 2 opportunities that you can expect a couple inches, maybe up to 4 inches, going to be overnight into Friday, and then again overnight into Sunday. I know. So keep this in mind for Friday morning and Sunday morning, because that's when we see the heaviest impact of the snow and from the snow. And then let's talk about a little bit, I'm going to show you how your weekend is going to be looking too. Again, overnight into Friday, there's that snow. And then Saturday, It looks like it's going to be trying to bump up into the afternoon, so keep that in mind. But I mean, I'm seeing the heaviest impact here late Saturday evening into your Sunday morning. And then even though we're colder behind Sunday, at least we're not seeing any additional snowflakes. But I mean, a reminder, it's going to be cold. These temperatures, mid 30s, that's what we're seeing today, that's what we're seeing tomorrow, and then we're starting that downward trend. I mean, these are the high temperatures, the high afternoon highs for Saturday and for Sunday, maxing out in the 20s, same thing for Monday of next week. But then look, we go right back up to the 50s into next work week. We're going to be tracking, this is weather whiplash. This is the kind of weather that makes you get sick, right? We're going from below average, well below average, to well above average in a matter of days. Now tomorrow morning, waking up in the middle 20s, it's more normal than you think. And then there's those 2-3 bitter cold mornings between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And we're starting to get pretty close to Christmas as well. Saturday, the 20th, is in the 10-day forecast, and it's looking pretty normal, pretty calm, but as we get closer, we'll have a better idea of how your Christmas forecast and your travel forecast will look. Okay, let's see who is tuning on in. Anthony's tuning in. Any idea where the heavy spans of snow will be? So these are going to be coming in from the north, Anthony. And while we can't really sit here and say it's going to happen right over Butler County, it's going to happen as far east as Clinton County, it's the fact that these bands of snow, I mean, obviously they're going to be the heaviest for where we see them in the north, because they're going to be losing steam as they move from north to south through the tri-states. So northern Kentucky, a little less worried about that for you guys. But again, the heavy snow bands, it really depends on where they pop up on Lake Michigan, because these are lake effect snow bands traveling miles and miles and miles all the way down here to Cincinnati. So trying to forecast where these heavy bands of snow will be is really difficult, because these bands of snow are not wide at all. They just pack a punch. And so some people could see a quick inch, whereas 10 miles down the road, you could see absolutely nothing. So we'll be watching here at Fox 19. That's quite literally my only job tomorrow morning. So I'll let you know when that happens and where it's going to happen. Jeannie's tuning in. How much snow will Gallatin County get? Yeah, that's a great question. And Joy's tuning in as well. I believe she said around 2 to 4 inches. Yeah, 2 to 4 inches. And I'd say since you're in northern Kentucky for Gallatin County, I would err on the higher side of that range, maybe 3 to 4 inches. And Scott's tuning in. What a roller coaster. What a roller coaster indeed. All right, here's your first alert extended forecast. We're wet, windy, and getting wintry this afternoon. 43 your forecast high, and many of us are already in the 40s. That's why we're seeing rain now, but as temperatures drop into the afternoon and evening, opens up the door for those snowflakes. And a couple squalls tomorrow morning, dry during the day Thursday, and then more snow late. And that snow late into your Friday, that's really going to affect schools on Friday morning, as well as your drive into work. Temperatures continue to fall as we continue to see the snow chances. We have a first alert weather day late Saturday into Sunday with that snow coming on in once again. And it keeps temperatures right in the low 20s. Sunday, that's going to be the coldest day. I know the Bengals game is going to be bitterly cold. Waking up in the single digits, falling asleep to the single digits that day. And also consider the wind will make it feel well below zero for Sunday morning. And then next week, big changes arrive once again. We're back into the 40s, eventually the 50s, and we might just be warm enough to see some thunderstorms. Come on, Erin, I thought you guys had reached the capability of being able to tell me how many inches it was going to be at my exact address. I wish I could, because then I would be a magician. It would be amazing. I could put that on my business card. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the laughs. All right, the time now is 12:20. We're seeing the rain right now. We're going to see this transition into snow, and as that happens, you guys will be the first to know. But for now, signing off here in Queens Gate, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.